Okay, so this is my second multi-fuel stove review after yesterday's review of the Primus Omnifuel. This is the Kovea Booster+1, given to me by Kirsty's stepbrother, and in his words, it's shit compared to the MSR that he uses. I don't really see a problem with it, but you know, if you've got the money to have 10, or you Mark Dexter, buy more. So here we go. So initially you'll see the design is quite different. It's a lot more compact than the Omnifuel. It's roughly the same size, but because the legs fold underneath, much easier that's going to fit in a pot, no problem. So let's get cracking. I actually prefer the design of this one to the Omnifuel because it is just so much more straightforward. The legs are all geared, so you move one, the top comes out, and you just unfold the tripod like that. So it's much more straightforward. It uses, I've actually used the Primus bottle. It comes with its own bottle, but they're completely interchangeable. Same threading on the pumps. But this is the Kovea pump, just put in the Primus bottle. It's got the same white gas in it. The main difference of this one, it can't burn as many different types of fuel, although people have reported it running on unleaded and diesel. It's really meant for white gas, refined petroleum, or gas canisters. The gas canister just screws directly onto here. You don't need to change any of the valves, unlike you have to do with the Omnifuel. So let's have a quick put the bottle on. I also think the mechanism for getting the bottle on is that bit more straightforward. You just twist on like that, nice and tight, and then this little lever here, you just move that round. So that's your set up, good to go. So what I'll do first, I'll prime it. Again, the primer is metal, the pump is metal, so it feels very, very sturdy. They recommend 20 pumps, but from what I found out yesterday and what I've seen on the internet, it takes a lot more pumps than that. It's actually, I can hear it leaking pressure. There we go. I'm not getting it quite tight enough. Yeah, nothing's coming out now. So you've got to make sure the bottles are as tight as you can get them. Alright, I'm starting to get a lot of resistance now on the pump. Yeah, you can see the pump's being pushed back up. So we'll try it at that. So exactly the same principle as yesterday. We squirt a little bit of fuel into the stove. There we go, about that's all that's needed. There's a little hole here for lighting it. So there we go. It's exactly the same principle. It's got to, you use this flame here to heat the tube going across, which will vaporise the petrol, the white fuel, whatever you're putting in it. This isn't necessary with this particular stove when you use the gas. You just use the gas canister, standard mode, and after 10 seconds you just invert it. No flares, no nothing. So those little flares that you're seeing are just as the priming pad is burning off the initial bit of gas. So I've closed the gas valve here so no more fuel is coming through. I'll probably put a little bit much on the priming pad. But it's starting to die down. So again, I think if you put a pan on top of this, you have no problem. Put a pan here, you have no problem with this flaring up. And if you've got a windshield around it as well, it's not going to flare out. So it's dying right down now, which probably means it's getting ready to go. You can't hear it on camera, but you get a little hissing noise at this stage. And apparently that's the sign that all the metal is heating up. So turn the gas on straight away. You can see here, unlike the Omnifuel, I've learnt a few lessons, so I have primed it better. But I found this stove does not flare anywhere near as much as the Omnifuel. So that's a low setting. The temperature control is not quite as good as the Omnifuel. It's not quite as delicate. and it does take a second because of the fuel line. It takes a second for the fuel to go up or down. So I'll give it some run. As you can see, it's ferociously powerful, this little stove. It's got quite good simmer control, it's just not as fine as the Omnifuel. Well, that is going to get your frying pan hot, or that is going to boil your water in no time flat. I'll whack it up to full, see what happens. You are getting a few flares there, but that's just as the air is pumped out of the bottle and replaced by the gas. So this one you just turn the valve off there, and again it's just burning the gas now that's left in the fuel line, so you'll see the flame change and it'll just eventually go out. This stove does seem to take a little bit longer to go out, so that's something you need to be aware of if you're getting one of these stoves. You can't just turn it off and put it to the side of your tent, it's going to flare for a little while. But again, place your pan on there, that's not an issue at all. So, there you go. That's the Kovea Booster+1, and yesterday you saw the Primus. Personally, I prefer this stove, it's a lot more compact. Going to fit in my pot easier. There's a hell of a lot less maintenance to it. There's only one valve. You don't need to change the nipple inside, the gas valve nipple. It's just a standard fit. And for the often, twice a year that I'll be using it, I think this is just a better stove for me. The Primus, possibly ever so slightly, is going to last a bit longer according to reviews online. But for what I'm going to use, I think this is the one for me. Okie dokie. Thank you very much.